So I want to talk now a little bit about my change program that I created as based on my own experiences as I've shared here, what I learned from them, and the things that have really helped me to not only get through depression and the struggles that I face, but to use them to really thrive and really create and build a life that I love. And so I'm now working for myself in supporting, helping others to grow, develop, learn, and with a particular interest in men's mental health. So I've created this program called Change, which is it's a 10-week group coaching program, which is it's pretty unique in its approach in that it uses the idea and the analogy of your life as your story, and exploring your life as your story to better understand the narratives that are playing your life, because we're all a collection of the stories that we tell ourselves, and that's influenced by how we grow up, by what we tell ourselves, our relationships, about the circumstances that arise in our lives, what other people might tell us. We're a collection of stories. For instance, if I have a narrative that I'm unlucky, then that's going to be reflected in my life, because I'm going to notice all the things that reflect bad luck, and I'm going to discount the times in my life that things does kind of favor me. So we all have narratives, and we're a collection of these narratives, and these drive the the quality of our life are very closely linked to the stories we tell ourselves. So I've created this program that is about exploring and understanding them, and through doing that, it gives us a much greater sense of self-awareness, of knowing who we are, what our key attributes are, when we're at our best, when we're at our worst. All these things, and the self-awareness then helps us in terms of the decisions that we make and the life that we look to live. Now, having a much greater sense of self-awareness is such a powerful thing, and there's you look at philosophers, and there's this thing about the greatest knowledge that we can have is knowledge of ourselves. And I used to think it was ridiculous, this idea that you had to get to know yourself. I thought, well, of course I know myself. I'm with myself all the time. But do we really know ourselves? And this is the kind of deep thing. Do we know why we believe the things we believe? Have we even questioned or challenged the way we think and the things that we believe, and the reasons we behave the way they do, and the reasons certain people push certain buttons? There's a real, so much to uncover and discover there. And again, it's do we understand the stories that we hold? A lot of this stuff might be going on subconsciously, and it's about becoming much more conscious of that, so we can live much more skillfully and in a way that's going to be good for us and serve us for good, and help us to live a life that's fulfilling and leads to contentment. So that's about self-awareness. Now, that leads to then greater self-assurance, because if we really know ourselves, we don't seek the validation from others so much, because we know who we are, so it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. And this is a massive thing that's helped me so much and helped my mental health so much, that I don't give a monkey's what anyone else thinks of me. Now, of course, I want people to like me. I hope they're finding this useful. But whatever someone thinks of me, that doesn't impact in any way who I am. I know who I am, and I know what I'm about. So I don't need to convince anyone else of that. And that, having that mindset that comes from that self-awareness, that self-assurance, just, again, leads to a much more fulfilling life that we can live in the way that's right for us. I've made career choices, personal relationship choices that have come from that place of trusting and knowing what's right for me, and not having to seek reassurance or validation from somebody else. Something that I can't say about past Matthew. So that self-assurance, again, is a big part of what this program, the Change program, is about helping you to gain. And through that, we have greater self-agency. Now, again, with in terms of good mental health, one of the things that's associated with that is feeling a sense of control over our life and over the outcomes of our life. Having a sense of agency, that the decisions, that we are making decisions in our life of what's best for us. And that I use it in this analogy of change and the idea of your life as a story. We're in control of the pen that writes the story of our life. We're consciously writing the next chapters in our life that will lead us to the final chapter that we want to be written. That, no one else is guaranteed to be on the final page of the story of your life, but you. So you need to write that story that's right and best for you. And that needs, again, being in control of the pen and consciously creating that life. Another analogy is about being in the director's chair of your life. Now, some of us might be, it might be that we're in a relationship where our partner very much dominates the decisions that are made. Or it might be someone that's not actively present in your life. It might be, for instance, a parent and what we grew up believing from our parents. That might be holding the pen and dictating the decisions and choices that we make in our life. So understanding ourselves, becoming more self-assured, we can take greater agency over our lives and have a greater sense of control over the direction of our lives, which again brings us better mental health and allows us to flourish and to thrive. And that helps us then to live a purposeful life because we're making decisions and choices that are in line with who we are and what we want and the difference that we want to make. So that's what change is about. And I have a full webinar, which again I'll provide a link to, which really kind of goes through it in much more detail. So that's a brief outline of change and how the change program can benefit you. Again, I'm saying that this program isn't the solution for you, but if what I've said resonates with you, if this idea of becoming more self-aware and understanding ourselves better, of becoming more assured in who we are, of accepting ourselves more, of loving ourselves more, of showing up in the world as who we are, resonates with you, then change could be really good for you. One of the really big things for me that experiencing depression has brought home is the importance of our sense of identity. And I think there's a lot of mental stress, and I've seen it through work, that in my work, working in mental health, working in boxing, where a real source of stress can be to do with our identity. So, when people retire in sport, for instance, they can really struggle with mental health because their identity is so tied up in boxing, in being a fighter. You're a fighter and suddenly you can't fight anymore. That profound change in the disparity between who you are in your life and your identity and how you perceive yourself and how you think others see you, that can cause a huge amount of mental distress. Having this real sense of who we are is so important, and again, there can be a lot of mental distress caused when either we don't know who we are or we feel we have to hide who we are. So we think if we showed the world who we really are, that we wouldn't be accepted, we wouldn't be loved, we'd be isolated, we'd lose friends. Again, that can be a big reason, and we've seen that over the years with people's sexuality, for instance, where people haven't been able to be who they truly are. Again, can cause a lot of mental distress, but also it might be that our life doesn't reflect who we are, and again, and this idea of if we have certain values, for instance, that are compromised by the work that we're doing, our values can be a significant part of how we define ourselves and our identity. So if they're compromising the work we do, for instance, that can be, again, a huge source of stress and potential depression. So again, this whole thing about the importance of having a strong sense of identity, which again is a big principle, a big feature of change is helping to really build and develop that. So if that's something that resonates with you, then this program could potentially be something that can really help you. I'm going to leave it there for now. I'll include a link to the Change webinar where you can find out a lot more about the program and get a more of a feel for it and whether that might be something that can help you. Like I said, only you'll know that. Only you'll know if it's the right thing for you, if it's something that, or if it's the right time for you. Because again, you need to feel in a place where you can fully engage with the program and really get the most out of it. But I'm more than happy, you know, if you have any kind of questions and you're not sure and you know, you want to discuss that, then by all means, you know, get in touch and we can arrange time to chat about that. I hope that's helped. Thank you very much for watching this far, if you're still here. I hope you found that useful. I'd love to hear any feedback from you. And yeah, all the best. And hopefully I may well see you on my Change program very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.